discussed the growth. We discussed the customer movement. I was able to kind of look at some of the metrics here, and I think we got a pretty good pulse as to what's going on. Prepaid looks pretty stable. Broadband looks very strong. Business postpaid phone net adds are tremendous. Consumer postpaid phone was great for the quarter, really good for the second half as a whole. The first half was rough. The second half was great. We'll see if 2025 kind of plays out the same way. You don't want to see the losses anymore. I think as long as Verizon is promotionally active, you're not going to see this minus 158,000 stuff anymore. I think they're gonna show some good numbers because Sampath and Hans said they're going to continue to grow.
That's what they literally said.
Yeah, they said they're going to continue to grow. Absolutely.
So even if they just get, for example, in the first quarter, say they only get 50 or 60,000 new ads in the first quarter.
That's growth.
That's a better first quarter than they've reported in a long time. And
Last
if they're able to, and if they're
minus 158,000.
Yeah, so like if they're able to do that and retain industry leading profitability, that's a win.
It is.
Like there's literally nothing to complain about in this quarter. Like Moose, all due respect, you're nitpicking, man. You're trying to find something, but there's really nothing there.
Well, that's the one thing I thought, of when I was looking at the results that just caught my eye. I really didn't see much else. It was really just the churn. I'm assuming, I might be wrong, but I do think they're going to be third out of 3 in churn.
So be it. I mean, listen, man, it is hard to lead in every single category. But again, a 0.11 delta between the three as it pertains to Delta, a $3 billion difference in total revenues versus the second ranked competitor in that particular metric. Which one would you choose, Sneed?
Well, you know where I stand, but what I'm saying is, Moose, that 0.11, do you think that's substantial? Because B doesn't.
Well, remember, Verizon has 130 million customers. What's
140.
0.11?
140.
That's a lot.
It's about 2 million subscribers, 1.5 million subscribers.
A lot.
So be it. 3 billion is a lot too. Like 3 billion is a lot, man. That's a lot of money. When you owe, like to your point, Moose, when you owe as much money as you do, you probably should be mindful of your balance sheet so that you can pay your bills. And to Verizon's credit, they pay like $8 billion of their debt, and they're under 100. They're at 117 billion, which is 10 billion less than last year. Like, that's what they reported. I'm just saying.
Hey, Moose,
that's really a good improvement.
Moose, I caught this during the earnings conference, the earnings call. Verizon is officially under 100,000 employees. Are you surprised by that?
No, not at all. Remember, we talked about this.
Do you think that continues? Shrinkage?
I think their goal is going to be 85K. Yeah.
So another 15% reduction?
Yep.
So like revenue growth is so challenging to get in this particular industry that companies have to look for ways to cut costs. So that's what the consumer is asking the companies to do. Find a way to cut costs and try to keep the cost down when all of the companies have spent tens of billions of dollars to invest in their product, to invest in their network. Where's the money got to come from? What's the largest expense on the ledger? It's almost always the employee. So this is what the customer asks for. The customer is asking for the companies to find ways to keep pricing as flat as you can. That means that employees, yes, are in the crosshairs. What else is in the crosshairs? Customer service. Again, we talked about this before. Like there are competing interests. That's how business works. And in order for the customer to keep their prices flat while they continue to get increased value propositions, somebody's got to pay the price. Unfortunately, it's the employee oftentimes. That's just the way it is, man. And it's unfortunate, but that's why when it comes to these types of conversations, I don't get so upset about a $3 increase or a 99-cent increase. Because the money has to come from somewhere. When you have companies that are spending tens of billions of dollars in CapEx every year just to keep up with the pace of growth that the consumer is using with respect to data usage, because nobody cares about speed, but everybody cares about data usage, right? The American consumer, nobody consumes like Americans. We do it really, really well, and it costs money to keep up. So who pays the price? Unfortunately, it's the employees. It is what it is.